Stephania, you cautioned us on Friday, despite Derrius Guice saying he thinks he's fine, and despite initial reports saying it might not be that major of an injury, you said, let's just be careful here. Unfortunately, the worst fear has been realized as Derrius Guice has suffered a torn ACL.
Right, and if you were watching him, I think he jogged off the field. I mean, and sometimes it's hard for the player to even believe that the injury's been that serious. And with ACLs, it's funny because you can have a guy who can't move afterwards, or you have a guy who does what Derrius Guice did. And sometimes it's not until later they're taking a step. I don't know if you guys remember when Carson Palmer had his second ACL tear and he was walking towards the locker room and he kind of looked like his leg was going to buckle.
I remember that.
And that's like the final moment. When that instability kicks in, sometimes there's spasm that keeps, it kind of makes them feel like they're more stable than they are. But the people examining it, they have a reason for, pressing for the testing. They're concerned that something else more serious is going on. And obviously, unfortunately for Guice, he's done for the year. The good news, as always, when you have the injury early, your chances of being ready to go by the start of next season are much better. There's never any guarantees, and there's also risk of re-injury after these type of injuries, especially in a younger player. Some guys are more prone to having a second ACL tear than others, but the bottom line is that he's not available now, and so unfortunately, Matthew Berry and everybody else who was super high on Derrius Guice will have to move on for this season.
Mike, let's get into what this means for the Redskins backfield beyond Derrius Guice. We understand, first of all, our best wishes are with Derrius and his recovery. And Stephania said the silver lining of these preseason injuries is that he should be ready to roll by 2019 when the season begins. Football-wise, Mike, spinning things forward a little bit, the Redskins have some incumbent pieces. Right now, that's all they have. If you were to evaluate the leftover backs, how would you stack up this backfield going forward?
Yeah, and this is going to sound a lot like last season, right? You got the same three guys at the top of the depth chart. I think we have to start with Chris Thompson here. He was the number 10 scoring fantasy running back through week 11 last season before he suffered a knee injury of his own. And yes, he said he may not be 100% until November. But again, it sounds like he's going to play at least in week 1. And if he's out in the field, he's going to be their top back. We know he's their best pass catcher for sure. He's finished top 15 at the position in catches each of the past 2 seasons. And again, that's with missing 6 games last year. So he's terrific. He's effective as a rusher and a receiver, and we know he's going to be on the field. Otherwise, you're taking a late-round dart throw here. Rob Kelly, Samaje Perine, we don't know which of those two will emerge. Honestly, I know they said they're not going to yet, but they could still go outside the team facility to add another running back as well. So for now, it's just that late-round stabs on those two guys, and Chris Thompson he could take, I'd say, around round 6.
Let's be honest. Every time a team deals with an injury, the plan is always to begin, let's evaluate what we have in-house, separate from when, an extreme quarterback situation like Teddy Bridgewater a few years ago.
Tannehill last year.
Yeah, Tannehill last year. It's at running back, wide receiver, where you already have multiple players that are playing a lot of snaps in a given game, you're always going to look in-house. Mike, just face it, we're not nearly as optimistic about those 2 other sort of potential feature backs as we were about Derrius Guice this year.